back to AI Search, the podcast where we talk about AI and machine learning in every industry. I'm so excited to have Joshua from Mindstone here with me today to talk about the future of education. Hi Joshua, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to hear about Mindstone and your crowdfunding and everything you're doing with AI education and learning. I'm just looking forward to the future of AI. What are your thoughts? What are we looking for the next 5 years?
Yeah, so I mean, thanks for having me to start. The next 5 years are really hard to predict, to be honest. I think right now most people that have a definitive view on what 5 years looks like, yeah, they're a bit full of it, I think.
Okay.
Now, having said that, what I think is clear is that AI in 5 years, AI will be incorporated into every single knowledge worker's job. In 5 years, we'll actually start to see even in manual jobs.
Yeah.
So robotics is now getting a massive jump because large language models are being used even for robotics, and there's a whole bunch of investment going in there. So in 5 years, I would expect we might go through a similar period of manual work in 5 years as we are going through knowledge work right now.
Okay, yeah,
So
very interesting.
the knowledge work bit will have adapted already a little bit. It'll have to. But we are going to be seeing the manual equivalent of it in 5 years.
Cool. And my next question will be, how do we see the education system going forward? So I feel like a lot of adults, so people who are in career paths, are educating themselves online, so doing a lot of online learning to consistently keep up to the game, right? It's very hard. I have so much going on right now.
Yeah.
How early are students and kids actually are going to have to start learning about AI and implementing those processes and automations just from the start, from like kindergarten?
That's a question that's really close to my heart for two reasons. One, I have a 2.5-year-old, and two, the last company I built was the biggest kid safety company in the world. It was super awesome. Right? So my entire life was about how do kids safely engage with technology, and now my entire life is about how do people use AI. So it's like exactly at that middle ground. And I think that the best paradigm that I've always looked at is, are there parallels that exist in the world today that will help us understand where we likely end up? And for AI, I find that it is similar to the calculator.
Okay.
AI is going to be used across a whole bunch of different use cases in a similar way that we're using the calculator for math today.
Okay.
Now, having said that, it is dramatically more powerful, and so the use cases it solves are much more vast. And I would argue that we have to work towards a future where this technology is actually usable fairly early on.
Kind of like a partner through the school system to ease up the processes.
Oh, definitely high school.
Yeah.
Maybe secondary.
Yeah.
Primary maybe a bit too early, even though to help kids understand, like help them learn how to read, help them learn how to build stories.
Yeah.
If I were to answer the question from my child's perspective, I would want them to start using this from like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, very interesting.
Because when used, and often people look at technology only from a bad angle. But when done properly, there is an entire world that opens up. And so I would focus on figuring out how to expose our kids to the benefit of this technology whilst limiting the downside as early as possible, rather than trying to restrict it.
Yeah, incredible. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today, and so glad to hear about all the work you've done and how you're going to connect that into the future. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it.
Anytime. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. You can watch AI Search on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. See you soon.